Hello everyone. I have a slightly unusual video for you today. Have you ever wondered that going to music college would stifle your creativity? This was a fear I had before I went to school, and I wanted to talk about that in case it was a concern any of you might also be having. The footage for today's video will just be me composing some music slightly sped up, so feel free to put this video on in the background podcast style. Let's start off with the big question. Will going to college for music stifle your creativity? No. Did music college require me to do projects I didn't particularly enjoy, or that I feel were out of my wheelhouse? Yes. However, through these experiences, I did grow to be a better musician. I found college to be a revelatory experience where I finally had terms and definitions for many of the things I was already doing as a composer. I have been writing and arranging music since 7th grade, so I had learned how to put together sounds I liked, but I really didn't have any idea how things like key signatures or transposition worked. I remember writing a tuba and flute duet, and the tuba and flute were in different keys. While I later learned that this is perhaps unusual, nowhere in college was I told that it was wrong. Rather, I actually got to see examples of other composers doing similar and even far more unusual things than that. One example was a unit we learned about atonal music. Now, I think this music sucks as a general rule personally. It, somewhat intentionally, lacks any kind of harmonic center and feels off-kilter and odd. However, there really isn't anything that quite sounds like atonal music, so if I want to write music that sounds atonal, it is a nice thing to know how to do. Here's a quick example of one of my atonal pieces. Even now, I don't really love the sound of it. To me, it sounds random and a bit annoying, even though I know the purpose and design of the notes I chose. In contrast, I also learned about counterpoint and song form. Here's an example of a song I wrote for that unit. This is much closer to the style of music I would like to compose, and so by learning both styles, I can learn a little of what I don't want to do, and what I do want to do. I also want to note that I personally believe I had great teachers at the college I attended. The professors I had were active musicians themselves, and they obviously took great joy in working with and teaching their students. If possible, I recommend being in as many groups as you can, especially during your earlier years. It will help you meet new people, and there's no better practice than playing with other musicians. As a final thought, I wanted to share what I think all musicians need to work on to become better at their chosen disciplines. I like to think of it as 3 key principles: intentional, repeated, success. Each of these 3 words are necessary in your journey to mastery in the field of your choice. We must be intentional with our musical decisions, we must be able to do it on command, and we must actually achieve what we set out to do. These 3 words are why we practice basic things like scales over and over again as musicians. Not only do we need to be able to do flashy things, but we must do them when and how we want to, on command, every time. As you go to practice your instrument, sing, or even in your composition, I would consider how you can more actively consider these 3 guiding principles of musicianship: intentional, repeated, success. If you have any thoughts on your own college experience, or if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. There's far more to consider when going to college than creative worries, but I know this was something that worried me before I went to college. If you have any ideas for future videos, please leave those in the comments below too. Thank you for watching. I look forward to working with you to build your skills from the ground up.